to Coffee with Venu. During this lockdown, we have discussed about socially relevant issues. The topic we discussed today is food waste. I can guarantee that this topic will change our lifestyles and habits forever post-COVID era. My guest for today is Nandu Govindankutty. He is a co-director of the charity called MADTA, Making a Difference Through Analytics. Thank you, Nandu, for joining me. Now let us straight away go into our topic, food waste. Tell me, Nandu, how big is food waste a problem?
Before we start, I want to talk about two terminologies, food loss and food waste. Food loss can happen at any time at the supply chain. Production, post-harvest or processing. Food waste happens towards the end of the supply chain, during retail consumption or individual consumption. I'm going to focus today on food waste is because we can influence that a lot more, and to be honest, and to be a little blunt, we've all been guilty wasting food.
Food waste is a bigger problem than we realize. In fact, a third of the food produced is discarded or wasted. That adds up to nearly 1.3 billion tons every year at a cost of $1 trillion. Discarded food is then sent to landfills where it rots and produces methane, a greenhouse gas. Food waste is responsible for 6% of the total global greenhouse gas emissions, which is 3 times that from aviation. Now, all of this happens when 1 billion people go hungry every single day.
Do you mean to say that this is really a global trend?
Absolutely, Venu. In America, the wastage is even higher at 40%. But what seldom gets reported are about the 40-odd million Americans who go hungry every day. This is almost the size of the population of Spain. Remember, we are talking about the most developed country in the world. Similar story in the UK, where the numbers are at about 8 million. So hunger is just not a problem in Africa. Yet, we continue to waste, and no country is an exception.
Now let us come to India, Nandu. What is the scenario in India?
I have to admit it's not great either and follows the global trends. 3,000 children die every day due to malnutrition. 194 million Indians go hungry. But what is ironic is that India actually produces surplus food. The food losses are ridiculously high due to poor storage facilities and careless behavior. A staggering 21 million tons of wheat rots every year. Mumbai generates 9,400 metric tons of solid waste per day, from which 73% is food, vegetable and fruit waste. Some of the garbage dumps are as tall as 5 or 6 story buildings, posing a major hazard. Indian weddings and social events are one of the biggest contributors to food waste.
Okay. Tell me, what is the impact of COVID-19 and the lockdown?
Future, at least for the next 2 years, is not looking promising. Harvesting crops has become difficult. Processing and packaging have significantly slowed down. Shortage of migrant workers and overall lack of labor could result in shortage of food unless carefully managed. These are unprecedented times, as on one hand, we're talking about significant excess, and on the other hand, mass shortage. If we do not harvest crops now, we could have a shortage for next year. And if we do not sow and cultivate this year, what about the year after? I hope we do not see a famine or steep price increases. Hence, wasting food now becomes even more criminal.
So you talked about food waste and its implications. Now what do we do about this? What is the way forward?
Better infrastructure, transportation, storage and use of technology are important to prevent food losses. But let's start simple. Here are 5 techniques to prevent food waste. At home or when eating out, make sure you start your meal with a small portion. You could always go back, couldn't you? When eating out, do not be embarrassed to pack your leftover food. Eat them the next day or be creative and use them as ingredients for your next meal. We often buy a lot more food than we can eat. To avoid over-shopping, plan ahead and always make a shopping list. Give your surplus to help those who need it. All you need to do is just look around. Instead of throwing your food waste into your regular bins and contribute to greenhouse gas emissions, why not set up a compost bin for food waste, fruits and vegetable peelings?
After listening to you so far, I should confess that it's quite alarming. I wonder if you have, more scary stats.
Looks like I haven't scared you enough. Okay, let me try. 25% of the world's freshwater supply is used to grow food that is never eaten. It's hard to believe, but 1 kilogram of rice needs 2,500 liters of water. A kilogram of beef needs 15,000 liters of water.
To end on a positive note, can you share some examples of organizations or maybe individuals who have tried to address this problem and have taken some initiatives to solve the issues?
This is my favorite bit as there are some amazing examples.
Imagine if we took better care of the food we already have. That's why Karma exists. For a lower price, you can buy great food that's at risk of being thrown out of restaurants, cafes, and grocery stores. In the app, you'll see where there's food to save near you. Choose something tasty, pay directly in the app, and pick it up as takeaway.
I am Padmanabhan Gopalan. I started non-profit No Food Waste in 2014. No Food Waste is an excess food recovery network that collects untouched surplus food from various events and parties and delivers to the hunger spots across the city, like orphanages, slums, old age homes, dump yards, and government hospitals.
Each day, you can save food from stores, restaurants, and bakeries. Order, and they'll make you a magic bag from what they haven't sold that day. And then you just pick it up.
We buy ugly produce directly from farms that often would go to waste because supermarkets won't buy it because of how it looks, and we deliver it to people's doors.
Connecting neighbours and local shops, Olio gives delicious food a second chance.
Nandu, it has been a roller coaster ride. What started as a coffee discussion turns out to be a full spread breakfast. Your enthusiasm and passion for the topic is infectious, and the stats provided are quite alarming. I share your concern about the troubled days ahead of us. With better social ownership, a little bit of self-policing, stricter legislation, and the younger generation taking up this issue seriously, I sincerely hope that we can look forward to a much brighter and safer future with sufficient food for all of us to lead a healthy life. Thank you.